Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, in episode 2, I'm going to be going over a little dumbbell complex that I find absolutely helpful for just building up strength and getting a good starting point going to the gym if you aren't familiar with the gym. If you haven't already seen episode 1, I would highly recommend going back and watching it because it goes over the fundamental movements that you will need for these exercises. So the very first exercise is going to be the dumbbell flat bench. Now, just like your push-ups, you want to start by trying to make sure you have a key sense of where your arms are going to be for that full range of motion. So if you have any kind of grinding or shoulder injuries or things like that, it's going to be very important that you learn where your range of motion is so you can get an effective workout out of it. Now, everything you do when it comes to lifting weights is always going to be about the angles. So changing the different angles is going to work the muscles differently and develop the muscles differently. So play around with the different angles and figure out which one works best for you. Now, again, it's all about comfort. Once you have your range of motion, then it becomes a point of contraction. You want to be sure that you are contracting the muscles all the way through the entire movement. You don't want to be a loose noodle as you are doing this. The more stable you are, the more effective the workout is going to be. The next exercise is the overhead dumbbell press. Now, anything to do with overhead, it is very important that you protect yourself by having good stability, squeezing the abdominal section so you're protecting your spine, and then controlling the movement all the way through. Now, you'll see that I do two different ways. In the beginning, it was following the ears, and then eventually I started pushing past the ears when I go up, and that is just to get a little bit more range of motion in the shoulders. Those are the two press exercises for the dumbbell complex. Now we move directly into the back and the legs, and this is going to go by fairly quickly. We start with the bent over row. You want your feet stable, so whether that's shoulder width apart or closer together, it's wherever you feel most comfortable. And again, follow through with the elbows. You do not want to contract in your shoulders as you're doing this. Allow your back to take most of the load. From there, we will be going into the stiff leg deadlift. With the stiff leg deadlift, it is very important, or one of the biggest keys is to not fully lock out in the hips so you do not lose the tension in the back of the legs. One of my biggest cues here is to just act like you're taking off a pair of pants with stiff legs, okay? Keep the dumbbells close to your body as you're going down. Pop the chest so that way your back stays tight. It is very, very important that you keep that tension going through the back of your legs so you do not feel any kind of pain or discomfort going into your back. Now, this last exercise is the dumbbell squat. I personally love doing the front-loaded dumbbell squats or the dumbbell like up in front of your chest. But you can do the dumbbells underneath. It doesn't really matter. It's just adding resistance to your legs. A good way to start is by doing squats off of the bench. This allows for building your confidence and your range of motion and giving you that sense of security. You can also move off the bench, which will allow you to go further deeper into your squat and build that full range of motion. Again, it is all about comfort and the level that you are starting at. Just remember the big cues of pushing the knees out on the way down and pushing the knees out on the way up. Keep the core tight and you guys will be just fine. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it easy to follow. Again, I'm trying to keep these as simple and effective as possible. So if you like what I'm doing, give it a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next episode.